This is 1160 AM, KVCE, Dallas-Fort Worth's business authority.
The information provided during this broadcast belongs to the show host and is for general informational purposes only. Nothing that is discussed or taken as legal advice for any individual case or situation. This information does not and is not intended to create an attorney-client relationship, nor does receipt of or listening to the information provided constitute an attorney-client relationship.
Welcome to the Believers in Business Hour on KVCE AM 1160. It's time for Bar Talk with local trial lawyer Brad Parker, the attorney you want but hope you never need. Stay tuned, get informed, and get educated about your legal rights when you or a loved one have been seriously injured or harmed by the conduct of someone else or at the hands of an insurance company. Brad Parker has focused his law practice exclusively on trial work since becoming licensed in 1985 and is board certified in personal injury trial law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization. And now, here's Bar Talk with Brad Parker, the attorney you want but hope you never need.
Good afternoon, DFW. Boy, it's wet, rainy, and messy out there. Be careful. Driving in, I almost saw a number of close wrecks. This is Brad Parker. You're listening to Bar Talk. I mentioned I was driving in today, and it's amazing to me how many, I don't know what the right word is, but just nonsensical idiot drivers are out there.
You can't fix stupid.
No, you really can't. And there's a whole bunch of it going around out there. People saw a pickup cut over 3 lanes of traffic as I was driving down 183. It's pouring down rain, and he's doing probably about 75 miles an hour. Then he slams on his brakes because he's coming up on someone so fast. No wreck, but you're just thinking it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. And, the sad part of it's going to be that he has no insurance, or if he does have insurance, it's going to be $30,000. But let's talk about that in just a minute. I want you to call in if you got any questions. Every week, if you got any kind of legal issue, any kind of legal problem, doesn't matter what it is, call in. It's your opportunity to get some free legal advice over the air. All you got to do is call us here at 214-787-1160. That's 214-787-1160. And if I can't answer your question, I'm going to try to get you to someone who can. And like I say, if you can't call in now, you would rather talk about it privately after the show or during the normal business hours, give me a call at my office. Parker Law Firm. It's 817-503-9200. That's 817-503-9200. I'll always consult with you initially for free. Always happy to talk to you. Call in if we need to get you in to talk to you personally. We will do. So many times I find that people, all they really need to do is just have a simple legal question answered. They don't know, do I need a lawyer? Do I need to probate this will? How do I go about it? I was involved in an accident. Who should I call? What should I do? There are a lot of times when people don't need lawyers, but they just need legal advice. And I know that sounds kind of silly, but I tell people all the time, look, I'm not trying to run away business, but you don't need to hire a lawyer. And don't believe someone if they tell you you do. This is a simple matter. You can handle it yourself. There's no reason to pay a fee. On the other hand, if I see that you need legal advice, well, I'm going to get it to you as fast as possible. I hope that I can represent you. I hope that if you have a personal injury or a wrongful death, God forbid, in your family, that you give me a call, that you give me an opportunity to visit with you. We handle all kinds of personal injury cases that are more severe. Most of my cases deal with severe, disabling, permanent injuries. I'm talking about paralysis, death, brain injuries, burns, those kinds of severe traumatic injuries. Even though you might heal, you get your leg and pelvis broken in an automobile accident. That's a pretty darn serious injury. I have the pleasure right now of representing a former Texas Ranger in a case in which he was severely injured. Honored to do it. He was involved in a serious accident. He's healed, but he's going to have lasting injuries for the rest of his life. So I help all walks, all kinds of people. and I try to get them back up on their feet. The type of people I do not represent, insurance companies. I do not touch representing for insurance companies, and would not, under any circumstance that I can think of, represent them. Likewise with big companies. I don't represent corporations. I represent people. At the Parker Law Firm, people matter. Not insurance companies, not big corporations, but people. And if you're ever involved in a serious accident and suffer serious injuries, or someone you love is involved, think about all the things that go along with that. And I'm not talking about some whiplash. I'll try to send those kind of cases on to younger lawyers who may want them, who are very competent to handle. But we don't handle those kind of cases. We handle the serious cases where you're going to miss weeks of work. You're going to have surgeries. You're going to have blood and broken bones involved, or traumatic brain injuries. But if you're involved in one of those kinds of wrecks, you're going to quickly find out if you have health insurance doesn't pay for it. I mean, it'll pay for some, but most health insurance policies have pretty large deductibles on them. Most health insurance policies will not pay for what we call durable medical equipment, necessarily the wheelchairs, the walkers, all kinds of different medical equipment that you might need to help you to live. Or if it does pay, it pays just a fraction of the cost, or pays for the very cheapest of the cheapest. I had a case where a young woman suffered a stroke, which left her paralyzed, and she had to have a wheelchair. And the insurance company, no kidding, the insurance company wanted to get her a wheelchair that she would have to roll herself. Now, keep in mind that her left side's paralyzed. She has no use of her left arm. How is she going to roll herself in a wheelchair? They would not, until we fought them on it and forced them to buy her an electric wheelchair. But even still, if we can't make the insurance company do it, we can hopefully force the person or entity that caused the accident or the injuries to begin with to be accountable, to hold them accountable, to make them responsible, so that your loved one can have an electric wheelchair when the left side of their body's paralyzed, so that they can go to the appropriate brain injury treatment clinic when they've suffered a traumatic brain injury. Those are the kinds of things that you got to make certain of. I had a young man who was involved in an automobile, an 18-wheeler. The left rear wheels of the trailer. Now imagine this. You're driving down the highway. You're going to a church retreat with your family. You're almost there. It's broad daylight, not raining, probably few clouds in the sky, middle of the summer, just minding your happy way, and you look up, and a couple of wheels from an 18-wheeler are bouncing over the interstate median, coming from the eastbound side of the highway over to you who are going westbound. You're going 65 miles an hour at least, and those wheels are coming at you. Those tires, they probably weigh about 200 pounds each, are coming straight at you. In this particular case, they came through the windshield. They killed two of the occupants in the car. My young client who was driving was hit in the head, kind of a glancing blow, but it cracked open his skull. His mother sat there in the car with him, basically holding his skull and his brains in. And he made a remarkable recovery. But medical science and the doctors will all tell you that you can't suffer an injury like that without some long-term sequelae. And some long-term effect from it. And so we wanted to get him into a brain injury evaluation, a neuropsych eval, which the insurance company would not pay for. Fortunately in Texas, the lawyers such as me can advance the cost for your medical care. And that's what we did for this young man. Got his neuropsychological evaluation done. Excuse me. And then found out that he needed some brain injury treatment. Again, the insurance company would not pay. We had to make arrangements with the doctors so that they would agree to see him and treat him through this brain injury program. But the entire time, the insurance company for the trucking company was saying, hey, he's not hurt. Look at him. He looks good as new. But his mother the entire time was saying, this young man's not the same one. He's got anger issues. He has impulse control issues. He has sudden outbursts that are highly inappropriate towards women when he never did in the past. He suffered a frontal lobe injury. And it's so important to you that they got into the right people to get it, to see it, to treat it. And fortunately, because they hired my firm, we were able to get him into the right people, notwithstanding the problems that we were having with the insurance company. And ultimately, we held the trucking company responsible. So the whole point of this, I guess, is that if you or a loved one are injured, it's just so important that you seek counsel immediately on this. There are so many stories that I've got about people who delay and wait and don't get an attorney right away. And I can talk to you a little bit more about that. But Matt is flashing the sign at me and telling me that we've got to take a break. So we'll come back around the corner, and I want to talk about what happened yesterday and a couple of the ramifications to it. So hang on. I'll be right back. You're listening to Brad Parker on Bar Talk, KVCE AM 1160.
You're listening to 1160 AM KVCE.
Ow! Stupid bugs!
If pests are pestering you, give Alley Cat Pest Control a call. A top performer in the pest control industry for over 25 years, offering the most comprehensive pest control services to the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and surrounding counties. Alley Cat Pest Control is dedicated to providing a wide array of quality eradication services to apartment complexes, manufacturing facilities, food industry facilities, churches, and residential properties. Our technicians are trained specialists providing our clients with timely, effective pest control services, from termite and bug detection and eradication, including removal of spiders, wasps, bees, ants, roaches, and even vermin. There's no pest too big or too small for Alley Cat Pest Control. Protect your investment and don't let termites destroy your home. Don't let bed bugs ruin a good night's sleep. Give us a call today, 817-469-4849. That's 817-469-4849. Or visit alleycatpestandtermite.com.
Ray Lucia Jr., Chairman of Lucia Capital Group.
When our financial planning strategists develop a customized bucket strategy for our clients, the emphasis is on streamlining the investing process, stressing the strategy, and making sure your dollars invested have a place and purpose. At Lucia Capital Group, we've streamlined and consolidated the services we offer. Our family of companies provides every investor with a comprehensive mix of wealth advice, asset management, and investment opportunities, an integrated mix of financial planning services focused on you. We invite you to learn about the exciting changes at Lucia Capital Group and how a bucket strategy can be customized for you.
Schedule a complimentary consultation with Lucia Capital Group to review your financial plan and have a customized bucket strategy developed for you. Call 800-644-1150, 800-644-1150, or visit luciacap.com. That's luciacap.com. Securities offered through Lucia Securities LLC, member FINRA SIPC, a subsidiary of Lucia Capital Group and affiliate of Lucia Wealth Services.
I got a question for you. You just bought an American muscle car or the car of your dreams, and you want top performance. And with that, less wear and tear in the motor and a company that really stands behind their product. I got two letters for you, K&N. Since 1969, K&N Engineering has been making the world's best air filters and performance parts with the best warranty in the business. 1 million miles warranty on all K&N air filters. With K&N, we're not just talking cars and trucks either. They have filters for SUVs, ATVs, motorcycles, and watercraft. Just log on to knfilters.com. That's knfilters.com. After 25 years in the auto industry, you really need to know all about a company and their product before you can say and agree with them. K&N Filters is the world's best air filter and the only choice of the Automotive Edge radio show heard here every Saturday morning. Go to knfilters.com. That's knfilters.com, knfilters.com.
At Parker Law Firm, people matter. We have an unwavering commitment to people who have been seriously harmed by the negligence or wrongdoing of others. Our practice focuses on those who have been killed or seriously injured in major trucking or car accidents, or whose lives have been seriously disrupted by the bad faith conduct of an insurance company.
Hi, I'm Brad Parker, principal partner at Parker Law Firm. I'm board certified in personal injury trial law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization. I'm also the immediate past president of the Texas Trial Lawyers Association. When you or a loved one has been seriously injured in an accident caused by another person's negligence, you may not know where to go or who to trust. Our firm is built on years of trial experience, a tradition of personal service, and a reputation for zealous representation of our clients. We're dedicated to providing experienced and comprehensive legal assistance to individuals and their families during their times of need.
Let the attorneys from Parker Law Firm help you. Get a free consultation. Call 817-503-9200. ParkerLawFirm.com. Principal Office, Bedford, Texas.
The Business Authority, 1160 AM KVCE.
Welcome back to Believers in Business Bar Talk with Texas Board Certified Personal Injury Trial Lawyer Brad Parker, right here on AM 1160 KVCE. Have questions? Get answers. Call in at 214-787-1160. That's 214-787-1160. You can check it out online at kvceradio.com. Brought to you by the Parker Law Firm.
Welcome back. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I hope you're driving carefully on this wet and soggy day. You're listening to Brad Parker, and I'm talking to you on Bar Talk. I'm the attorney you want, but hope you never need. You know, why do I say that? Number one is I'm highly qualified. I'm board certified in personal injury trial law. But if you have to have me as your lawyer, then something has gone terribly wrong in your life. And what I mean by that is you've been horribly injured, or someone you know and love has been horribly injured, or even killed in a tragic accident of some sort or another. And that's why I hope you never need me or someone like me. But if you do find yourself in some kind of predicament like that, I hope that you would give me the opportunity to visit with you and at least look at my credentials, my history, compare me to other lawyers in making the decision of who to hire to help you or your loved one through such a traumatic time and experience. You just want to be darn sure. You don't want to hire the first person that you run into. It's always best to talk to 2 or 3 different lawyers. You'll find that many lawyers have comparable credentials, but maybe you get along better. Maybe you just gee and haw. Maybe you just feel that connection with that lawyer better, and follow your gut instinct. There's oftentimes I've had clients come to me that say, you know, there was a reason I just felt uneasy. I don't know why I hired that lawyer. I didn't know at the beginning. Well, it's too late. When you sign a contract with a lawyer, you've agreed to pay them a contingency fee. That's a fee where, you know, I don't work, and lawyers like me in the personal injury field, we work under a contingency fee agreement, meaning that we do not get paid unless and until you get paid. We make a recovery for you. And if we do not recover, I never, ever charge a fee. And likewise, I don't even deduct my expenses or expect you to pay back the expenses if we do not recover. What I mean by that is oftentimes that we will have serious cases that I've got cases right now that I've got $50,000 invested in or more. And that's not attorney time. That's just checks that I write out of my checking account at my firm, the Parker Law Firm, to cover the expenses of experts, depositions, demonstrative trial exhibits, just all kinds of different things that come up. Litigation is very, very expensive. And so that's why oftentimes, excuse me, I've got a little allergies going. That's why oftentimes that we find there's a good case there, or there is a case there, but we can't afford to take it because the expense is just going to overrun. That's because of tort reform. That's another day. But in any event, I hope that if you have a loved one who has been seriously injured, or you've been seriously injured, or your loved one's been killed because of the negligence or downright stupidity someone else, that you'll give the Parker Law Firm the opportunity to visit with you about it. And you can always find out more about me at our website, which is parkerlawfirm.com. That's parkerlawfirm.com. Well, last night, it was kind of an exciting night. If you're a political junkie like me, there were no surprises. I mean, as much as I would have liked to have seen some elections go a different way, I knew in my heart of hearts that they weren't. I was a little surprised that some of the races were called as early as they got called. I was surprised that we have a new attorney general who may be looking at a federal, or not a federal, but a state indictment. He may be indicted very soon. Maybe it is on the federal level. He has already admitted to security violations, which constitute a felony offense. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Won't that be make us the laughing stock? We'll have a governor under indictment, probably a former governor by the time Mr. Paxton is indicted, if that happens. And then we'll have the attorney general, the highest ranking lawyer for the state, is looking at the potential of felony indictments. Wow, something we can all be really proud of. The other interesting aspect of last night, if you were kind of following some stuff, was this fracking issue up in Denton. I don't know if you heard about it or not, but Denton, the city of Denton, has passed a ordinance that prevents fracking inside the city limits. And when we say fracking, what we are, of course, referring to is the oil and gas. With the resurgence of the oil and gas, the reason is because of horizontal drilling, meaning they can go straight down and then horizontal. But not only that, but in the shale, they inject high-pressure water with a mix of chemicals and sand that basically, for lack of better words, sandblasts the shale or disrupts that shale and causes fissures and cracks in it that allow the gas to escape and then go into the pipeline and go back out and be recovered. Without the fracking, you don't have the drilling because the horizontal drilling, from the way that I understand, is only profitable because of fracking. And, of course, the problem with fracking that many believe is that it's dangerous from a chemical standpoint. Nobody knows what all is involved in this because it's, quote, trade secrets of the fracking companies. And they don't have we can't understand what the dangerous chemicals are. What we do know, though, is that they are dangerous and that they're then taking the millions of gallons of water that have to be used in the fracking and put it back into the surface. They call them injection wells. And what they do basically is they dig another deep hole and take all this polluted, nasty chemical water and shove it back down into the earth into an injection well. And the question becomes, do these then leak into the water table to where you and I, when we turn on our faucet, are getting some of this wonderful water? What does it cause? And a lot of people are concerned that there's cancer risks and all sorts of bad problems with it. There's becoming more and more information on it, and you may have seen some of these 60 Minutes and some other pieces on folks who turn on their faucet and gas comes out and they light it on fire. That's a result, as they contend, to the injection wells that have the frack water in it. But be that as it may, if you outlaw or prevent fracking from occurring, you in essence stop drilling. That's basically the one side versus the other. Well, last night Denton passed. It's the first city in the state of Texas, and it may be the first city in the country, although something in the back of my mind tells me Pennsylvania has already passed something like this, or one of their municipalities or cities, townships. But it passed. Well, not to waste any time, at 8:57 a.m. this morning, the Texas Oil and Gas Association filed a lawsuit against the city of Denton, claiming that their new ordinance that was passed by the voters last night violates the Texas Constitution. And it violates the Texas Constitution by taking away the authority of the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality and the Texas Office or the Texas Railroad Commission, and that only those entities have the right under the Constitution to regulate oil and gas drilling to this degree, and that the constitutional provisions that give home rule cities such as Denton the opportunity to rule and govern themselves does not extend this far, and that they've gone way too far to do it. And that, in essence, this Denton ordinance will put the oil and gas drillers out of business, and that's an unlawful taking. So obviously this is a very, very hot topic in the oil and gas industry. They spent hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to defeat this proposal in Denton, and it passed notwithstanding. I didn't have time, and I haven't seen the paper today to see what the final percentage of for and against was, but it obviously passed. What the fear by the industry is, of course, is that it will be bootstrapped or picked up by other cities throughout Texas and or outside of this state for that matter. And we'll see more and more of this anti-fracking ordinances, which would be a devastating effect on the oil and gas industry, or so they say. I don't know which side of the issue you are on, but the bottom line is this is an interesting case. A lot of money is at stake here, and a lot of concern on the behalf of the public. At least they've woken up a little bit in Denton to educate themselves about this issue, and they felt strongly enough to voice their opinion through their votes up in Denton County. Well, Matt is telling me again we've got to go to break. I've got some more political... Yeah, I know. Wouldn't you just love to listen to me for the rest of your life? I can tell you. There's plenty of people who wouldn't. But come back around and listen to me for at least 30 more minutes after the commercial break. You're listening to Bar Talk, and I'm Brad Parker, listening on AM 1160 KVCE.
From Wall Street to the Metroplex, this is 1160 AM KVCE.
Tune in Thursday evenings 5 to 6 as KVCE's Believers in Business presents the Family Law Hour with attorneys Frank Skipper and Donna Smith, discussing divorce, child support, custody, mediation, adoption, and all other areas of family law. Both Frank and Donna focus their practices exclusively on family law. That's the Family Law Hour, tomorrow at 5, right here on AM 1160 KVCE, and online at kvceradio.com. Brought to you by the David Wynn Law Firm and the law offices of Donna J. Smith.
Hey, golf fans, this is Tom Keys, co-host of the Golf Grape and Grub Show, inviting you to join Pam Wood and myself as we expand the exploration of golf to food and wine. With the 19th hole in mind, we will talk with chefs, winemakers, and all things fun. We will feature behind-the-scenes interviews with caddies, announcers, instructors, fitness folks, course designers, club makers, fashion makers, and more. So join us every Saturday, noon to 1 p.m. on 1160 a.m. You can also catch us online at kvceradio.com.
The Golf Grape and Grub Show, Saturday, noon to 1 p.m. on KVCE.
This is Nick. Hey, what's up, man? From beach to classroom, early mornings, 5 days a week. That's why he stops at Exxon and Mobil for fuels that help his engine run cleaner, smoother, and with better fuel economy. So Nick's mornings go a little easier. At least until his students get to class.
Take your seats.
Nick is energy. Exxon and Mobil. Energy lives here. Visit Exxon.com or Mobil.com for more information.
Lumber Liquidators, America's largest specialty flooring store, is using our buying power to offer great deals on over 230 hardwood and laminate floors just in time for the holidays. Get pre-finished 3/4-inch solid maple for $159 a square foot. That's more than half off other stores. Save up to 43% on our thickest and best laminates. Plus, attached padding at no extra cost. And get other incredible flooring deals. Plus 18-month special financing. Get to your local store. These deals are going on now. Visit lumberliquidators.com to find a store near you.
There are so many different cars to choose from and so many places to buy them.
And that's why we'd like to thank you
for choosing family owned
and family run.
Huff Hines for over 90 years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And as our 90th anniversary continues,
we invite you to Huff Hines' biggest sale ever.
And saving on Huff Hines' Texas size selection.
And again, from everyone at Huff Hines,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
From Plano to Denton down to Louisville too. Huff Hines has it. Also in McKinney, we'll prove it to you. Huff Hines has it. So savings and more. Feel the excitement when you walk through our door. Huppies has it. Huppies has it.
At Parker Law Firm, people matter.
Hi, I'm Brad Parker. When I first got out of law school, I went to work for a big downtown Fort Worth law firm. It was a prestigious job, but I never felt fulfilled professionally helping banks and companies. I didn't have that fulfillment that kind of drove me to be a lawyer to begin with. And the more I saw and learned, the more I realized that maybe being in the big firm wasn't the right thing for me. I went out on my own to start doing some personal injury work and what we call insurance bad faith, because you get the opportunity to help real people. Your efforts and your success makes a difference in their lives. And that is very satisfying and very rewarding to me. And it drives me every morning when I wake up to be able to help people. The rewarding times after a case is settled, the cards I get from clients, just to say, thank you, you made a difference in my life. I never really got that from the CEOs of the banks that I represented. It is truly rewarding to know that you've made a difference in someone's life and you've really helped them.
Principal Office, Bedford, Texas.
1160 AM, KVCE, Dallas-Fort Worth's Business Authority.
Welcome back to Bar Talk with Brad Parker. You can check it out online at kvceradio.com. Brought to you by the Parker Law Firm. Have questions? Get answers. Call in at 214-787-1160. That's 214-787-1160.
What'd you say? I won't pay. Rather play.
Welcome back. You're listening to Bar Talk. I'm Brad Parker. Glad you're tuning in and listening to us here on AM 1160 KVCE on this wet and soggy day. If you're driving down the road, slow down. You got plenty of time to get there, and you don't want to have a wreck on the way. All I see are the bad things that happen when there are automobile accidents. And I as much as I love my job, I don't want you to have to come see me. It's just not going to be good if you do, because that means that something terrible has happened to you. I'm the lawyer you want, always want, but you hope you never need someone like me or me. But if you ever do, I hope you'll certainly give me an opportunity to visit with you and provide some legal advice. And in that regard, if you got some legal questions, just want to know something's on your mind, give us a call. Call in right now at 214-787-1160. That's 214-787-1160. And if you want to talk later or you want to drop me a line, you can always email me. Just go to my website, parkerlawfirm.com. That's parkerlawfirm.com. Email me, call me. The number's there. Would love to talk to you initially. I always will talk to you free. If I need to get you in to visit in more depth, we'll do that for free. I always want to try to help you if I can. And if I cannot help you, I will get you to someone who can. That's the goal I always have, is to see that people will get to the right place. Well, before the break, we were talking about the election, and obviously it went pretty fast last night. Most of the big races were called by about 8:30. I worked till about 8 o'clock last night and got home and sat back and turned on the TV, and wow, I'd already seen. Well, really, I pulled up Texas Tribune. By the way, if you don't watch or have that on your internet, the Texas Tribune is a wonderful, wonderful online political media deal. They've got some great articles, great news. If you want to like Texas politics, that's what they specialize in, Texas politics. But I tuned into that and was watching the numbers go by, and it's a shame that we don't have enough or more marginal districts. And what I mean by that is that where a Republican or a Democrat really do face off, and either one of them could win the district. That's a shame that they've become so polarized through gerrymandering that you either got clear Democratic districts or you got clear Republican districts, and the real fight's in the primary, not in the general election. That's, in my opinion, a real shame. But as I was watching and viewing things around the country last night, I noticed that California had a proposition, and I'm embarrassed to say I hadn't seen it before, but California had a proposition on their medical malpractice tort reform measures. Back in 1975, California led the nation, if you want to call it leading. I would say it sent them back severely. But they were one of the first states in the nation to pass some very tight regulations on medical malpractice suits. And one of those was the capping of damages, and specifically capping of what we call non-economic damages. Those are the damages that are the hardest to quantify, if you will. You have economic damages, which in any case are pretty easy. Lost wages, medical bills, out-of-pocket expenses, future medical wages, future loss of earning capacity. Those are all economic damages that can, you put the numbers there and they are what they are. If it cost $100, it cost $100. There's not much debate over that. The non-economic damages, however, are much more subjective, if you will. What I mean by that, and what we mean when we say non-economic damages, are those kinds of damages that can't be calculated by a simple mathematic formula, such as, and this is going to turn a lot of people off, pain and suffering, impairment, emotional anguish, future impairment. But think about that for a minute. I know I talked to enough juries to know that they are a lot of times turned off by the concept of pain and suffering and mental anguish. But think about this for a moment. Let's say that you are working 40 hours a week. You have an office job that requires you to think. And as a result of you're not being able to think anymore because of the traumatic brain injury you suffered, you've lost your job. Well, that's what happens oftentimes. But the lost part of the job is easy to calculate. However, what is the fact that you cannot think the same? You think on the level of an 8th grader rather than a college degree professional that you were. You cannot really carry on a conversation. You can't progress logically because of your injury. Those are non-economic damages. That's impairment. You have a brain injury. What if you have lost an eye? You've lost vision in one eye, or you've lost vision in both eyes. That is a non-economic injury. What is that worth? Is that worth millions of dollars? I would say that if someone caused me to lose my vision, it would be worth millions and millions of dollars. If I was no longer able to smell or hear or taste, or I had a brain injury and I could only communicate as a 6th or 8th grader when I've got a master's or a JD degree, or I would argue with you that is a significant, serious injury. Or what if you're just bedridden? Maybe you're paralyzed. Maybe your leg is amputated and you can never walk again without a prosthesis. That's an impairment. What is that worth? Well, under the non-economic cap scenario in California and in Texas, by the way, and in Oklahoma, you've got a $250,000 cap on non-economic damages in medical malpractice cases. Oklahoma, you actually have it on all cases, and it's $350,000. Now think about that for a minute. You are blinded because of someone else's negligence or stupidity, and the most you can get for that blindness, for the non-economic, for just the sake of being blind, is $250,000. Is that fair? I suggest to you it's not. But what's even more unfair is that this $250,000 cap in California was imposed in 1975. And there has not been any kind of cost of inflation or cost of living increase in that since that time. And today's dollars and cents, they say that the $250,000 from 1975 would be $1.1 million in today's dollars and cents. So even if you believe in a non-economic cap on damages, it has not been raised in, 30, 40 years? And it's so low now. I suggest to you that non-economic caps are totally inappropriate. Juries usually do the right thing, but we'll argue about that some other day. But the fact of the matter is that most people don't understand what non-economic caps do and what they're there for. What if your child is severely injured or brain damaged in an automobile or an 18-wheeler trucking accident, and they'll never recover fully to be able to even get an education? Well, all you've got there, the child doesn't have any loss of economics. They didn't work. But they've certainly suffered a severe injury, and the law would say that if that's caused by medical malpractice, the most they could ever recover would be $250,000. Highly, highly inappropriate, I would argue. And I think when most people understand that, they think the same thing. And so California had an opportunity to revisit this issue. There was, I want to say, $8.5 million invested on a video or a media campaign to vote for changing those caps. But the insurance companies, the healthcare companies, the hospitals, and the doctor associations, I believe, and again, don't hold me to this number, but I believe they invested $75 million on the media campaign, which basically argued, oh, if you raise the caps, we're going to lose all our doctors. They're going to come to Texas, which is nonsense. That is absolute bull malarkey. And but it sold. The media campaign worked. And folks, if you don't think media campaigns work, you're wrong. They do. Advertising is a very, very powerful thing. And so after the count came in last night, California had voted almost 2-1 in opposition to raising those non-economic caps. And I can't help but believe that when people really know what that means and they understand what that means, they can't justify it. After all, when they say that people or the juries run away with a verdict and juries are crazy, you're really talking about yourself. Think about that. The juries are made up of people just like you. They're your friends, they're your neighbors, they're your teachers, they're your doctors, they're your plumbers, they're your electricians. They're you. They're you. And 12 of people get together that have never met in their life, have no agenda, don't care after the case what happens really. They're there for one purpose and one purpose only, to be fair based on the evidence that they hear at the trial. You've taken a tool out of their hands, in essence, to fairly compensate somebody. And it's been my experience that juries really don't go crazy. And if you think so, call in, talk to me about it. Let's visit about it. But it's my experience of doing this for almost 30 years and trying lots and lots of lawsuits. Juries typically 99.9% of the time get it right. Well, California, I'm sorry. You've been regressed. Listen, we got one more segment, and I hope you will stay tuned and come back and visit with me. You've been listening to Bar Talk. I'm Brad Parker. I'm the lawyer you want, but hope you never need. Come on back.
Business Authority, 1160 AM, KVCE.
Hello, everybody, from Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, Indiana. It's Notre Dame football. Today, the #1 game in the nation.
Notre Dame football is back.
Sacked by a great Notre Dame defense. Intercepted again. Finding a way. Breaks into open field. 35 to 30. Inside the 10. He's heading to the goal line. For a touchdown, Notre Dame.
The Irish return to reclaim college football's crown. Listen all season long on your home for Notre Dame football.
Right here on AM 1160. See a full season schedule at kvceradio.com/sports.
Hi, folks. This is Alan Thicke, and if you're one of those millions of Americans who owes back taxes, if you get nervous when the mail comes because you might get a letter from the IRS, then you've heard. They're cracking down this year. They can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank account. Even your home or business could be up for grabs over unpaid taxes. It's all true. But it's also true that they're offering a new way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative, an important government program program for tax debt forgiveness. It's one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered, so now's the time. If you qualify, the experts at Optima Tax Relief, their team of attorneys and enrolled agents, will get you the best deal possible. Optima has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. Don't mess with the IRS. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima for a free consultation.
Call 800-711-5743. That's 800-711-5743. 800-711-5743. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
At Parker Law Firm, people matter.
Hi, I'm Brad Parker. When I first got out of law school, I went to work for a big downtown Fort Worth law firm. It was a prestigious job, but I never felt fulfilled professionally helping banks and companies. I didn't have that fulfillment that kind of drove me to be a lawyer to begin with. And the more I saw and learned, the more I realized that maybe being in the big firm wasn't the right thing for me. I went out on my own to start doing some personal injury work and what we call insurance bad faith, because you get the opportunity to help real people. Your efforts and your success makes a difference in their lives. And that is very satisfying and very rewarding to me. And it drives me every morning when I wake up to be able to help people. The rewarding times after a case is settled, the cards I get from clients, just to say, thank you, you made a difference in my life. I never really got that from the CEOs of the banks that I represented. It is truly rewarding to know that you've made a difference in someone's life and you've really helped them out.
Principal Office, Bedford, Texas.
Now is the time to go to your Kubota dealer and get a brand new Kubota M-Series tractor during Kubota's Gear Up and Go sales event. If you're thinking about a rugged utility tractor and the year-round comfort of a Grand X-Cab, then a new Kubota has your name on it. With a smooth-running diesel engine and IntelliShift transmission, your Kubota dealer is the place to start. Right now, get your own Kubota M-Series tractor for 0 down and 0% financing for up to 60 months. So for a great deal, think orange at the Kubota Gear Up and Go sales event. For more information or to find a participating dealer, go to TexasKubotaDealers.com.
0 down, 0% APR financing for terms up to 60 months on selected equipment now through December 31st, 2014. Not available for rental national accounts or government customers. 0% APR low rate financing not available with instant rebate offers. Financing available through Kubota Credit Corporation USA subject to credit approval. Other exceptions may apply. For more information, call toll-free 1-888-465-8268.
Real estate accounts for more millionaires than any other investment vehicle. Lifestyles Unlimited is an education and mentor group that for over 23 years has taken people by the hand and taught them how to build wealth and passive income streams. Our students have won Investor of the Year awards 8 of the last 8 years. We offer a free workshop for anyone considering investing in real estate. 866-945-6565. That's 866-945-6565. Or visit lifestylesunlimited.com. That's lifestylesunlimited.com.
This is 1160 AM KVCE. KVCE, Dallas Fort Worth's Business Authority.
Welcome back to Believers in Business Bar Talk with Texas Board Certified Personal Injury Trial Lawyer Brad Parker, right here on AM 1160 KVCE. Have questions? Get answers. Call in at 214-787-1160. That's 214-787-1160. You can check it out online at kvceradio.com. Brought to you by the Parker Law Firm.
Welcome back. Thanks for hanging in there with me. You're listening to Bar Talk, and I'm Brad Parker, the attorney you want, but I hope you never need. We were talking about a minute ago some of the different things that went on during the election last night, different laws that got passed and didn't get passed. And before we go any further on that, though, I want to remind you that if you've got a question call me. 214-787-1160. You want to argue with me about something? Call me. Don't believe what I'm telling you? Call me. I'll be happy to talk to you about it. If you got a legal problem, definitely call me. Compare my credentials to anybody else's out there. If you've got a serious personal injury case, go to parkerlawfirm.com. Look at my website. Learn a little bit more about me and who I am and my credentials and what I've done over the last 30 years. I think you'll find that I might be the lawyer for you if you need this. And certainly, if you've got a question, call me. Give me the opportunity to visit with you. You know, one of the things I'm looking forward to this weekend is two things, really. The Dallas Cowboy game at noon. That's going to be a great, great game. You know, they're over in London right now, and I guess that's kind of the weather we're having. I guess they didn't want us to feel left out, so we got it. After all, it is God's team, they say. That's why they put the hole in the stadium, isn't it? In any event, he's giving us some of the same weather as they have it over in London, from what I understand.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah. How about them? Exactly right. Let's see if they can reverse it and Tony can bring things back around. But another game that I'm highly excited about, of course, if you listen to me at all, you know I'm a hockey fan, and going to see the hockey game on Saturday night. I hope we can stop this skid. We have lost, well, we have not won a game in the last 5 settings. It's terrible. And we have tied in overtime on some, or lost in overtime, which we still get a point. But bottom line is we need to stop that skid. But even more exciting, Saturday night, TCU and Kansas State. I don't know if you saw, but TCU in the new rankings came out today. They increased their position from number 7 to number 6. I can't tell you how proud I am of those Frogs. And as a father who has spent a lot of money on sending his girls over there to TCU, I really do root for them. I'm probably even going to root for them against my alma mater when they play on Thanksgiving Day.
That's not true!
Oh, it is. It is. But anyway, we got a great sports weekend. That's one of the fun things about living in the Metroplex. We've got so much fun stuff to do and watch that way. Well, you know, the elections were last night, and one of the things that was on the table was Prop 1, and I hope all of you voted for it. How many of you even know what Prop 1 is as you're driving around? Can you think what it was? I hope you can. I hope you were an informed voter, but it passed, and basically what it did was it's going to allow funding for our Texas highways and roads, which are grossly underfunded and undermaintained. If you've listened to me at all, you know the stats are staggering on the number of traffic accidents, especially involving commercial vehicles. We try at the Parker Law Firm to keep a kind of a running stat on how many fatality wrecks are involved with 18-wheelers on a monthly basis, and my Matt, not the board op, the producer here today, but my Matt in my office keeps a running issue on it. He told me that just since October the 9th, we've had 30 trucking accidents in Texas, and there have been 6 verified casualties in those trucking accidents. Many of them are due to driver fatigue. Many of them are due to just equipment in need of repair. Many of them are due to just torn up roadways. There are stories after stories. The Texas Tribune, as I mentioned earlier, and a week or two ago, has done some great reporting on the oil and gas boom to this state. And one of them is about the trucking industry and how the need for trucks has risen dramatically. There is a shortage of both trucks and qualified truck drivers. And there is also a huge shortage in Texas state highway funding. Even with the passage of Prop 1, it's estimated that we're still going to be about $4 billion short on transportation funding for maintaining and building roadways. That's a staggering number. You know, and it results in traffic accidents and death. You know, if you live in the Odessa, Midland, Permian Basin area, the statistics out there are that if you are involved in a traffic accident, you are 2.5 times more likely to die than you would if you were involved in a traffic accident in other parts of this state. And the reason, again, is because of the high number of trucks, the high number of unqualified drivers, and the high number of roads, bridges, overpasses, and infrastructure that aren't maintained properly. So this was an important issue that got passed last night, and we'll have to wait and see. I'm not all about just throwing money at problems, but this is, you know, Texas has just shorted itself in so many areas that it's just it's mind-boggling sometimes why we don't spend money on things that are so important, such as education, infrastructure, highways, health care. It's just amazing. But at least the voters, in my opinion, got it right last night. And so a lot of the money that would otherwise go to the Texas Rainy Day Fund will be diverted to help with roadways. So good news there. Well, I can't believe it, but we're just about out of time. I know, it's just so sad, so sad. I want to thank Matt Broom, who has been producer today for me and keeping me on track and keeping me on time and out of trouble. That's not true! I hope you'll tune in next week when I bring back some more talk about the legal system and what's going on. Be sure to stay tuned tomorrow, 5 to 6 with Frank and Donna on the Family Law Hour. You can call in and get some news. And stay tuned next for the Bloomberg Hour coming up. Thanks for hanging in there with me. You've been listening to Bar Talk. I'm Brad Parker, the attorney you want, but hope you never need.
Thanks for joining us for Bar Talk with local trial lawyer Brad Parker, the attorney you want, but hope you never need. Join us again next week when you, the listener, can become more educated about your legal rights and your Seventh Amendment right to a civil justice system. Until then, if you are in need of legal advice or services, contact local attorney Brad Parker at 817-503-9200 or on his website at parkerlawfirm.com.
1160 AM KVCE.
Join me, Michael Bull, for the Commercial Real Estate Show, brought to you by Bull Realty and France Media. Commercial real estate, where America lives, works, and plays. Each week we focus on topics of interest to business owners, entrepreneurs, and real estate users, investors, and professionals. Insightful analysis, entertaining discussions, and real estate opportunities right here on the Commercial Real Estate Show.
Tune in every Saturday at 8 a.m. on Dallas-Fort Worth's Business Authority, 1160 a.m. KVCE.
At Parker Law Firm, people matter. We have an unwavering commitment to people who have been seriously harmed by the negligence or wrongdoing of others. Our practice focuses on those who have been killed or seriously injured in major trucking or car accidents, or whose lives have been seriously disrupted by the bad faith conduct of an insurance company.
Hi, I'm Brad Parker, principal partner at Parker Law Firm. I'm board certified in personal injury trial law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization. I'm also the immediate past president of the Texas Trial Lawyers Association. When you or a loved one has been seriously injured in an accident caused by another person's negligence, you may not know where